Well, good evening and welcome to Supper with Sean. Apologize for being a little bit late here, but I wanted to get to my subject matters tonight, and that happens to be the corn field behind me and the soybean field actually that I'm standing in here. And I apologize if the wind is a little bad, but anyway, I wanted to talk. I got up to the farm today and it's one of those things that we take what we do as farmers so much for granted. And, it's one of those things, as I talked about last night, we talked about success and what makes you successful and how you sometimes fear taking advantage of opportunities because they look dangerous or they look scary, so we don't take advantage of those. So as I got out and I started walking through the corn today and kind of investigating, are my beans coming up? Because all the way up here as I talk and catch up with some friends of mine, they're like, anything that was planted on Mother's Day, guys are replanting. Well, I planted the corn on May 7th, 6th and 7th, and then I came back and last weekend planted soybeans. And as I look at some of these crops and I see some of this corn coming up out of the ground, I think about really kind of what I've been talking about this week and how much potential this little kernel that we put in the ground, how much potential that really has. And it's pretty incredible that we put it in the ground and we hope and we pray that it comes up in a week or less. Sometimes it's 3 weeks that we have to wait and see what's coming. But so as I thought about that though, I mentioned in one of my earlier periscopes about the nutrients in the soil. And so as you think about planting this little seed that we hope is going to grow, and it uses all the energy from that little seed. So that's what it requires to get out of the ground. Now, of course, it requires a little bit of moisture and some sunlight, and of course, everything has to be right. But as I think about how we manage through life, we have a lot of choices to make. And as I got out walking in the corn, there's some corn that had kind of grown up underneath the soil, so it had leafed out underneath the soil. And a lot of that has to do with the environment that it was placed in. And I think about that with us. Sometimes we aren't placed in great environments, but we have to do our best to continue to grow and challenge ourselves to make it through. Now, sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. But the energy from this corn is pretty incredible. So then as I take a look here and I look at soybeans, and that's the field right behind me. This is some cover crop rye that I put in, and you can kind of see here behind me some of the rows that were made with the row cleaners. And so these little beans were planted about a week ago, and they're just starting to come up. And so as I think about that though, it says a lot about what we deal with in life too, that these beans and this corn, they're all treated very differently, and you manage them very differently. If I were to plant corn into a cover crop, I would have to manage that differently. So the people we're around, you've got to manage them differently. We need to interact with all of them, just like these plants interact with their environment. And, the thing of it is God's creation is so awesome that we forget how awesome the sunshine is, how awesome these plants are, these seeds, not just corn and soybeans, but the potential that these have. So as I thought about this, we start out from what we really had growing up, and now we have to nurture that. So throughout the year, we're going to nurture these two different crops, whether it's the cornfield behind me or the soybeans. They both need different things, but they're going to pull from the nutrients around them. And as I talked the other night, we need to surround ourselves with good people. And if you've ever heard that statement that, if you're surrounded by successful people, you too can be successful. I truly believe that, because as we look at the environments that we're around, if we're around successful people, they challenge us to get better. They're that feed, that food for us to challenge us and continue to strive to get better. Just like these plants need nutrients every day, we have to do that too. Not only in our spiritual life, our mental life, our physical life, but we need that nurture and nature throughout our lives. So as you think about this weekend, and who you're going to hang around with and what you're going to do. Surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself with people who will challenge you to get better. Challenge yourself to also take advantage of what Mother Nature has created for us. Because like I said, it just dawned on me today, and I was really excited to hop on tonight and talk about this, because these plants that produce more than tenfold than that seed that we just put in the ground, and the management required that's different. Each and every day it requires nutrients, and those are the things that we have to think about too. We need to manage ourselves differently every day. Someday we're going to wake up and have a bad day. Other days we're not. And other days we're going to wake up and we're going to have a great day. And that's the same for these crops. Depending on whether or not they get a hailstorm, they wake up and have a bad day. And we don't really think of it that way, but these crops are absolutely incredible little beings that we have to nurture throughout the year. And so I think that's why, as farmers, we take so much pride and care in whether it's our animals or whether it's our family or whether it's our crops. We realize that the care that's required in each one of those. So think about that. Just, I know it's not really great to a great parallel to compare yourself with a plant, but there's a lot above ground and below ground. And so what people see on the outside is what we see above ground for these plants. And what's below ground, people don't necessarily see that, but it can shine through. So you need to make sure that the nutrients, the things that you're filling your heart and soul with, are good. Surround yourself with those good people. Let them challenge you. And that way, at the end of the year, as we harvest this crop, we know that we've done a good job. And just as well as in your life, the people that you surround yourself and how you create success for yourself will be how you enjoy your life and share that love and happiness and joy and success with others around you. So that's my challenge for you this weekend. As you're around others, share the joy that's in your heart. Think about all the great things that God's created for us around us, and whether it's the wind or the moon or the sun or the stars, or the plants that we've planted, or the things that we do and the opportunities that we have in life. But just be thankful for that. You see a veteran this weekend, thank them, because they've given us that freedom. And as I sit here on my uncle's farm, who was a prisoner of war in the Korean War, I can't be thankful enough for what he's done for us and our country, and the many other veterans that have gone before and after him as well. So thanks for watching Supper with Sean. Have a great weekend. Be safe, and hopefully we'll catch you tomorrow night. No promises. If not, we'll see you Monday night on Supper with Sean. Thanks for watching.